Canterbury Park, awesome to have Jockey Jermaine Bridgmohan back as part of a very, very talented jockey colony. And we noticed that last year with the additions of people like Jermaine. And at this stage of your career, you've been riding for approaching 20 years, and you're getting close to 1,000 wins. And I know that's a nice milestone. So what are some keys to sustaining as a rider that long?
The longevity of a jockey depends on injuries. You know, I've only had 2 major ones, which I've been fortunate. Some guys have had many more. So, you know, that, like anything, like any athlete, whether it's basketball or football or being a jockey, it takes a toll on how your body holds up and how long you can do it for. And I've been fortunate to do it for so long, and you know, I feel good, and you know, it's really a blessing.
Well, one of those sadly major accidents took place here last year, and subsequently, how did you recover from that? And do you happen to remember how many people were over you as you lay on the turf course and they were taking you away, just telling you how much they loved you, praying for you? In that moment, were you cognizant of that?
I was once I became conscious again. I mean, first of all, I'd like to thank everyone for all the prayers and wishes. I mean, that was lovely.
Canterbury medical team jumped on that.
Oh yeah, they were fantastic. I appreciate them, and you know, and all the support. And at first when I felt I was unconscious, but then I woke up and I opened my eyes and I was laying in the grass, because when I fell, it felt like a dream, and I guess that's when I was unconscious. And then
Wow.
And then when I woke up and I opened my eyes and I was laying in the grass, and then I looked up and then I seen everyone around me and I said, no, this is not a dream.
So you saw people and thought it was a nightmare.
Well, yeah, and then I tried to take a deep breath and I realized it was a nightmare.
That was a nightmare.
Yeah,
man,
so,
it is so great to see you back.
I appreciate that. No, I appreciate
the fact that you're back riding in 2023, man. And Jermaine, you know, and he caught my eye last year. He's one of the better turf riders that I've seen here at Canterbury in quite some time. His percentage was really good. And, you know, like from an announcing or a playing standpoint, that's important when you can identify somebody and you know they're good on the turf. You really enjoy riding the turf, don't you?
I do. Well, I wouldn't have more races on the turf, so yeah. But, you know what's so funny? The first major fall that I had was on the grass. And I always thought it was my mistake why it happened. So I really studied and tried to get better at the grass, just because I did blame myself for not knowing enough about the grass. And you know, I do a lot of watching of grass races. Like, you know, in the mornings, if I get finished early in the morning, I'll watch the races from England, and at night I'll watch the races in Japan, and you know, most of them are turf races.
Wow.
You know, you can always learn something. You know, it doesn't even matter who you watch or if you know who you're watching, but you know, good. You can recognize good riding, you know, because it's smooth. It's like if you know you were to watch NASCAR and you see a driver making his move to the pack and he's just not having any fear or stops or hiccups, and he kind of gets through, and you say, man, you got a really good trip, and you know, you kind of feed off of it, and then you'll go back and watch the replay and see what they did, and just trying to kind of learn and pick up stuff. And it just makes you better, yeah.
Now, nearly 2 decades into it, you know, I don't know whether you would want to settle in one place and like call that your life year round, but the life of a rider can be nomadic, where you're going from one track and then Florida, then Arizona, then Texas, then Minnesota. What's that like?
It's, you know, when I was younger, I liked it. You know, different places you go, you explore. I mean, yeah, you're going for work, but it's also, you know, a new place. It's exciting and it's fun. You know, getting older, it's not as exciting. You do want a mainstay, for example. I mean, my home is Florida, and probably will be, but as far as riding wise, I've always been in search of a circuit, you know, and like Minnesota, I love, you know, Canterbury's a beautiful track. I love it here. You know, it's kind of...
We only run 3.5 months.
Right. It's kind of out of any circuit that you could run because of the weird time frame that they run. But, you know, it's a great place, and, you know, I enjoy my time here.
Well, we love having you here. Now, Canterbury races 2 days a week to start the season at night. Wednesdays and Saturdays, we begin at 5 o'clock, go till about 9, 9:30, or 10. As a jockey, your days begin markedly earlier than when you're riding live races. So like when we have a night card, Wednesday or Saturday, what's your day like?
The day, you know, riding for this, for the amount of time that I have, you develop a routine. So, you know, whether it's night or day, you know, you have to switch it up slightly, you know, meal-wise and prep-wise and exercise-wise, but it's pretty much standard. Like you just, once you get on a routine and you figure out what works for you, because everyone's body's different and everyone takes to the night racing differently. I remember when I just did night racing at Remington for the first time, it took me months to get off that schedule.
Wow.
My body, you know, at night, I could have went clubbing every night. 9 o'clock I was awake. By 5 o'clock I was tired, but and I had to switch back to the routine. But you know, if you practice good habits and you have good routines, it's easier. You know, it's difficult in the beginning, but you get used to it.
Really, really happy to see you,
Appreciate it.
man. God
Thank
bless
you so
you,
much.
and best of luck this season.
Thank
all
you.
right?
Thank you very much.
Jermaine Bridgmohan. A+.
Thanks, brother.
Thank you. You guys
Appreciate
are so
that.
good, man.
Appreciate that.
Yeah, for sure. You can take